Hello, welcome to Data Focused Python, section Z3 in Mini 3 of 2024. That is the first half semester of 2024. I am John Ostlund, and I'm going to be your professor for this course. The first thing I want to say is that you should feel free to send me emails anytime that you would like to ask me a question or receive some clarification about anything. I'm going to be available to you 7 days a week. I hold office hours for various courses all weekend long, Saturday, Sunday. So you should not hesitate to contact me on the weekends or on Friday nights. I try to respond to email for sure within 24 hours. Sometimes I'm able to respond much more quickly than that. Since the students for this course are in several different time zones, I'm not going to try to have live lectures by Zoom. All of the lectures are going to be remote using videos that are available to you on YouTube, so that you can watch these at your convenience. Now, of course, you will have to watch week one's videos during week one in order to be able to do the homework that is due for that week and so on. So you will need to keep up on watching these lecture videos, but you can watch them at times that are convenient for you. Okay? Now, I will have office hours by Zoom every Monday from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. And in Canvas here, if you click on the Zoom tag here, that will get you to where you can connect to the particular Zoom session for a certain Monday. Since I'm the instructor, my button here says Start. I think yours will probably say Connect or Join or something like that. All right, let me get back to the syllabus. We will have Yingtao as our teaching assistant for this course. And the primary job for the teaching assistants is going to be to grade homework assignments. But you should also feel free to, send email to ask questions and whatever else you wish. Whether the TAs choose to hold office hours by Zoom, I leave up to them to decide. Okay? Now, let's take a look at what this course is going to be about. This is a 7-week course. It is a follow-on course to course 95898 Z1, the Introduction to Python course that I expect most of you took in Mini 1 of 2023. That is the first half of the fall semester. And we therefore assume that if you did not take that particular course, at least you have the knowledge contained within that course. That is, that you understand about decisions and loops, that you understand about arithmetic and equality and relational comparisons and logical operators, that you understand about functions, files, the built-in data structures that Python provides, namely the list, the tuple, the set, and the dictionary, the dict, as well as the string data type. And that you also have some familiarity with the NumPy module, which is the final thing that we talked about during the Introduction to Python last fall. Now, because there's been, 3.5 months or so since that introduction course occurred, we are going to spend the first part of this course reviewing that material, but we're going to be doing it at pretty high speed. And I will rely on you, if you have questions about anything, as I said, to email questions to me or join me for my office hours to ask questions. I do also want to mention that if you have several questions that you would like to ask, I am happy to set up individual one-on-one Zoom sessions with you at a time that works for both of us. So you can send me an email requesting that we have an individual Zoom meeting. All right, so we're going to talk in this course about how to gather data from various sources, including how to do what's called web scraping, that is, obtaining data directly from sites on the web. We'll also take a look at how to use what are called web APIs to suck down data from websites in comma-separated value form or JSON form or various other kinds of formats. We'll take a look at we'll take a bit of a look at how to interact with an SQL database. It turns out that Python comes with an ability to create and interact with SQL databases directly within the language. We're going to discuss how to clean data. Generally speaking, when you download data from a website, such as scraping data from a web page, it will not be in exactly the form that you want. So we'll talk about how to get rid of bad values, how to get rid of rows or columns that you don't want, how to verify that the data that you have is correctly formatted, etc. We're going to look at Pandas, which is a spreadsheet-like library that makes it easy for you. Well, easy is relatively speaking, of course. That provides you with the ability to structure and analyze and select and analyze data. We're also going to take a look at what's called regular expression pattern matching notation, which is an extremely useful tool for extracting meaningful data from unstructured text. If you have just a plain ordinary text document or an unstructured source of data like an email message or maybe a log file from some application, you can use regular expressions to extract out just the meaningful parts of the data that you're interested in. We're also going to take a look at how to define and use classes for object-oriented programming, and get into building a real-world application that you will do as part of a project group. Okay, so in summary, we've got three main goals here. We're going to review and reinforce basic programming in Python. We're going to introduce methods for obtaining, cleaning, and analyzing data. And we're also going to do a group project that will enable you to get used to using some more advanced methods, such as object-oriented programming and or regular expression patterns. Now, as I've already mentioned, this is a follow-on course to a course that we presented last fall in the first half of the fall semester of 2023, Introduction to Python, excuse me. If you don't know Python, if you don't know what's contained within that course, or at least a big part of what's in that course, which I've already described, but again, it's summarized here, you are frankly going to be in trouble. So if you find yourself having a lot of trouble, contact me very early, and we'll see if we can do something to quickly get you up to speed, or at worst, you may find that you just need to drop out of the course. All right. Now, in terms of software that we're using for the course, we're going to assume that you have a package called Anaconda installed, which provides a version of the Python language which is at least as recent as version 3.9. If you took the Introduction to Python course from me last fall and you installed Anaconda then, the version of Anaconda that you have is fine for this course, and so you don't need to update anything more. You don't need to install anything more recent. If you don't have Anaconda installed, or if your version of Python that you have is older than 3.9, then please have a look through this video on YouTube that describes how to install the most current version of Anaconda that's currently available, which is 2023-09 from September of last fall. I'm going to recommend that you use Spider as your development environment. There are other development environments that you can use. For my lectures, I use this really primitive thing called idle. And I use idle because it basically is a very clean interface. It's just an ordinary, it looks almost like Windows Notepad. I mean, it basically doesn't have lots of fancy buttons and tiny fonts and messages and whatnot. So it's very convenient for me to use to create clean YouTube videos. But as a full-fledged development tool for doing actual work, it's a fairly appalling tool. Okay. There is online documentation available. The official documentation is at docs.python.org, and you can look at various versions, 3.11, 3.10, 3.9. There's also a very nice tutorial available. If you have some knowledge of Python already, then looking through that tutorial is a very useful way of rapidly reviewing things that you mostly should already know. I do have a textbook that I recommend called Python for Data Analysis, 3rd edition from 2022. And this is actually available to you for free through the Carnegie Mellon University Library. You can click on this link. You will be asked to log in. Fortunately, you don't need your own O'Reilly account. You can simply type your Andrew email address, and the login mechanism will recognize that you have typed a CMU email address. You will then be asked for your Andrew password. And so if you give your CMU Andrew email address and your CMU Andrew password, you will gain access to this online copy of this book. And you might want to, search through the university library to find out whether there are other freely available Python books that might interest you. In terms of grading, there will be homework each week, and the homework combined is worth 30% of your final grade. There are going to be some quizzes, which combined will be worth 15%, and labs, which are another 15%. There will also be a final project. This is a group project that you will need to work on with various other people, and this will involve developing an application and delivering a presentation of your application to the class. Now, if this were a live course at CMU, often we do these presentations live in front of the class, but of course, in our case, we're not going to be able to do that. So your presentations will be on video. You and the people in your group will have to jointly create a video that presents your application. And I will have a lot more to say about the components and structure of this final project as we go. Okay, now here are details about grading. We're going to have letter grades for each homework assignment, each quiz, each lab, and each of the various components of the final project. And then I use a weighted combination of those letter grades to compute a letter course grade from the letter grades. and your course grade will depend on a weighting according to this table at the top here: 30% homework, 50% quizzes, 50% labs, 40% projects. As an example, suppose that your 5 quiz grades are an A+, 2 A's, an A-, and another A+. And suppose that on the final project, your entire grade is an A. There are actually components to this project, so we're going to assume here that the weighted average of your project grade is an A. And let's suppose that you got A's on all your homework assignments, which is more or less expected, and that you got an A on the labs. Now, in a live course, these labs are done in class, but of course for us, they will not be in class. All right, so then the course grade is going to be computed as a weighted average of these QPA scores based on the letter grades. So if your homework score was an A, that's worth 4.0. So you've got 30% is 4.0. Then 15% for your quizzes is going to be the weighted average of your quiz QPAs, that sum divided by 5. Then we've got another 15% of an A for the labs and 40% of an A for the final project. And since this number computes out to be strictly greater than 4, in this example, you would end up with a course grade of A+, in this case. If you get exactly 4 or a little bit below 4, then you would end up getting an A, and so on. All right, now this is the Heinz standard grading scale. According to the Heinz standard, when you perform an assignment, if you score between 97 and 100% of the points available for that assignment, that's worth an A+. On the other hand, greater than or equal to 93 and less than 97 is worth an A, etc. Now, I do not give any A+ grades for homework assignments or labs. A is the maximum grade that I'm willing to give for those. But for the quizzes and for the final project, it will be possible to get an A+. I also want to mention that this Heinz grading scale, this is sort of the worst possible case. Let's suppose that a quiz is worth 100 points. And let's suppose that on the quiz you score 98 points out of 100. Well, then, according to this very strict Heinz standard scale, you will get an A+ if you score 98 points out of 100. But what if you score 70 points out of 100? That does not mean necessarily that you get a C-. It's possible, if the quiz is very difficult, the 70 points is a very high score relative to how everyone else did. So if the highest score that anybody managed to achieve on a particular quiz was, let's say, 80 points, and you scored 70 points, well, I would set my curve so that 80 points is worth an A+, and 70 points, might be worth an A- or a B+. So when you see your quiz score, you should not assume that this grading scale is definitely going to be applied. If a quiz that I give you turns out to be quite difficult, what's going on here? It's not letting me highlight. Okay, so if a quiz turns out to be quite difficult and nobody is able to achieve up above 97, then I will definitely apply a gentler curve to the grading. Okay. I'm not going to read through, the learning objectives, the topical outline. I'm not going to read through those because it's basically a repeat of what I've already said. Homework assignments will be due before midnights on Mondays. And you must submit your finished homework assignment before the deadline. If you are late, you will start losing points rapidly. If you have some form of disability, and in particular, if you would like to request an accommodation of some kind as a result of your disability, I am not able to directly handle these requests. Please contact... okay, I thought it was here, but it must be later on. The Office of Disability Resources. Office of Disability Resources. Oh, strange. All right, well, I don't see it here. Let me... Okay, so contact the CMU Office of Disability Resources, and you'll need to discuss your disability and desired accommodation with them, and then they will make a determination, and they will email me an official request. I am only permitted by CMU to give accommodations for disabilities based on email messages or other messages that I get from the Office of Disability Resources. So please reach out to them if you would like to. Once I receive an email from them, I am very happy to offer whatever accommodation is requested. Okay. Okay. Now, on quizzes, collaboration is strictly forbidden. Each quiz is independent effort, and if you are discovered to be cheating or collaborating with other students on a quiz, then any of the students involved will automatically fail that quiz. And, just don't do this. You may, well, cheating is bad, and the university takes it very seriously. I take it very seriously. If you are discovered to be cheating once, you will for sure fail that particular quiz. If you're discovered more than once, I will prefer to fail you for the course, and it's possible that you will be eliminated from the school. Asked to leave the school. So just don't. Now, on the other hand, for everything else, for homework assignments, for labs, and for the final project, I do encourage you to collaborate with other students. In fact, the final project is going to be a group project, And so obviously you must collaborate with the other people in your group, and you may discuss your ideas for your final project with anybody that you wish. In fact, you can even talk about it with people who aren't even students, okay? Homework assignments, I always ask people to work with at least one formal teammate. I will pair you up with a teammate for the homework assignments. And so obviously, again, you must collaborate with that person. It's perfectly fine to directly share your code with that person and talk about coding ideas and coding approaches and so on. And in fact, you can share your code and ask questions and discuss ideas with absolutely anybody that you want to, whether they're in the class or out of the class. I view homework assignments as very important tools for learning and practice and comprehension. I don't view homework as something that you have to do in secret and that you can't show to anybody else. I view doing programming homework as very much like doing writing. Writing stuff in a human language. You definitely want to be able to show what you've done to other people for comments about structure and grammar and blah blah blah. And the same applies to homeworks. And the same thing applies to labs, all right? So you are encouraged. Labs you will work on your own, but you're encouraged to discuss labs with anybody that you want to. Okay. I believe you can read this other material yourselves, so I will not keep reading through this stuff. All right, so welcome to the course, and I look forward to meeting you in Zoom sessions. I hope you'll join a Zoom office hour at least once, so that I can see each of you and you can see me. Now the main material for the course you will find if you go to the Home tab or the Modules tab. Each week I will publish the modules available for the course, and these PDF files, onereview.pdf and tworeview2.pdf, these are the PowerPoint slides that deliver the material. I will post under announcements. There are not any announcements yet, but there will be by the time you join the course. I will post under announcements the links for the YouTube videos to accompany the lectures and so forth. All right. Well, welcome to the course. Take care.